All right.
What is Father's Day?
Okay, Ruby, listen to mommy. Ruby, today is,
Father's Day.
what does Father's Day mean?
Don't know.
Where is your father? Show me your father. Here, what's his name? Jesse. Okay, tell me one thing that you like about your daddy. One thing that you like. Do you like your daddy? Tell me one reason why you like your daddy. Do you know?
Because he's happy.
Because he's happy, eh? Is he happy? Okay, another reason why you like your daddy. Because?
Daddy, you said one.
Okay, now I want two. Now I want two. Give me another reason. Does baby more like daddy? No. Does baby more like daddy?
Yes.
How do you know? Baby more? Baby more? Do you like daddy?
I'm Jesse and Diana Aineviona. Today we are going to be sharing a few thoughts on fatherhood, this being Father's Day. So to my fellow fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Let's be the fathers that our children would love to emulate so that they can have a greater impact on the world. So Diana, over to you.
So today I'm going to ask you some questions about your fatherhood. And yeah, the first question I'm going to ask is, what did you feel when you first became a father?
When I first became a father, maybe let me look at when I first learned that I was going to become a father. So that's when we confirmed that we were expecting. Wow. I must say I was, it dawned on me that now I became a man.
Wow.
For some reason, I felt this huge level of responsibility. I felt like I am responsible for a certain human being that is coming to this world.
Yeah.
And when Ruby was born and I held her in my hands, I was just smiling ear to ear. I was just overwhelmed by this realization that there is a human being who I am solely responsible for in this world. That was the first realization.
Yeah.
But then later on, as the days, in the first days of fatherhood, I then began to catch myself. I began to say, hey, would I do this if I knew that my child was watching me? So I became more aware and conscious of myself, but also largely the level of responsibility. I think that was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I really noticed. The taking responsibility and feeling, more responsible after Ruby was born. It's like before it was like, life is good. What happens, happens. But there was a seriousness to which, like life now became more serious for you after Ruby was born.
Yeah.
But then I also remember that night when Ruby was born and how you were so happy. Like I have never seen you, and I will probably never see you that happy ever again. Like it was happiness I have never seen. And yet there I was on the theater table feeling like, oh my goodness, am I going to die? And there you were, happy, sending people messages, telling them Ruby has been born, and I'm thinking, no, like I don't even feel happy. But just because of that, just that overwhelm of being on the theater table. But
and maybe that's why Ruby likes his daddy for being happy. Who knows?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my second question is, what is one of the greatest joys of fatherhood?
One of the greatest joys of fatherhood is that you are molding someone.
Yeah.
You are involved in, you're part of God's process in training a human being for life. I think that's one of the greatest joys, to be responsible for somebody. And I think that entire process, raising up a child, raising up a fellow human being, I think for me it's one of the greatest joys.
Yeah.
But also there is something special about children. Now our children are still at that level. I look at them and I just imagine how much God loves me, because I could almost do anything for them, you know. So there is a joy in just knowing that you are responsible for this human being, you're raising them, and they are so adorable, they are so near and dear to your heart. You can
Yeah.
almost lay down your life for them.
You can almost eat them.
You can almost eat them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a certain joy that children add in the home that I don't know, that I don't think anything else can bring.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's just some spice, even though there's a lot of chaos and
Yeah.
what, like there's just some
Yes.
cheer that they bring. That
Of course. They bring that. I mean, even if they do all those things,
Yeah.
breaking things and stuff, it's easy to overlook it
Yeah.
because of the nature of who they are. They are
Yeah.
nice and lovely, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. What about one of the greatest challenges that you think you've faced in parenting?
One of my greatest challenges is, I would say, working against myself, because my upbringing, I was raised by a father who truly worked hard. And that's one of the things that I really love about my dad. He's now in his mid-70s, works as hard as I knew him right back then. And so because of that, because of his work, he wasn't always there to play, run after, you know, the games with children.
Yeah.
And I think I've grown up with a kind of similar mindset. I find I've had to work hard to be present, intentionally be present, slow down, put work aside and just be with them. It's
And
something
play.
and play just yeah. At first I thought like I was just being idle, doing nothing.
Imagine.
But
Yeah.
that has been a struggle. I am coming to learn it more and more, getting better at it.
Yeah.
But that has been one of my biggest struggles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even if I would say I am working for my children, and then you realize, but you're not there for them.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
Yeah.
a bit of a struggle there.
Okay, but still, like over the years, you've improved. Like you're overcoming that challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're not where you were when let's say Ruby was 1 year old. So what do
Yeah.
you think has helped you to work against what was your natural inclination?
Okay. I think one of the joys of parenting is that there is a father and a mother.
Yeah.
And so in our case, it has been your accountability. You have had to call me out on certain things and say, you need to spend time with the girls.
Yeah.
I remember last year at the beginning of the lockdown, when the first lockdown happened, now we're at home. Ruby constantly said, I'm not your friend.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
it
get out of
my
my
space.
way.
I'm not I think she was used to seeing me morning, evening,
Yeah.
morning, evening.
Yeah.
Now here is someone who is in her space all
the
day, all the
time.
time. I think it was too much for
It
her.
was too much.
So that was also a realization that, hey, I need to do something. So events like those helped me to wake me up.
Yeah.
But then also on many occasions, you kept bringing me back on track and say, look, you need to spend more time with a girl. So even if you have been away for quite some time, maybe you have had many days of work, coming home late, you need to spend time where you intentionally
Yeah.
be with them. So that level of accountability, that level of helping me to realize where I'm going off track and bringing me back on track has been of great help and support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. How would you encourage maybe other women to encourage their spouses to spend more time with their children, or be more involved in their lives? Since many men are naturally inclined to spend more time out working or doing other things and not really being at home. Yeah.
Okay. I must say work differs. So depending on what the man does, it has implications on his availability. But the bottom line is spending time with the children. So to a woman out there with a husband who is probably struggling like I used to, I would think that you need to have a candid conversation and look at this squarely in the face, because it has its implications. If the children grow and the man is not in their lives, there is a huge disconnect.
Yeah.
So there is a need for a conversation, an honest, open and candid conversation. And I hope the man will be open enough to realize that this is important.
Yeah.
And then that can be the starting point. And start small. You know, it's easier to maintain a new habit when it starts small. So
Sure.
it could be as simple as just spending 10 minutes uninterrupted with them. No phone, no TV, no book, nothing, just
Yeah.
with them. So then you can keep on increasing that time.
Yeah.
That way, I believe it can become a habit and get cultivated into the lifestyle of the man. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. From your father,
Yeah.
what was one thing that now as an adult you appreciate that he did in how he raised you?
Yeah. Two things. My dad modeled hard work. He really did. And I love and respect that about him.
Yeah.
I see it from the schools he took us to. These were the best of the best. He didn't have that much money, but he sacrificed. He said, my children deserve the best. So he really prioritized us and educated us, gave us the best that he could with what he had.
Yeah.
And that is something that I truly admire about him. The second thing is discipline.
Yeah.
My dad disciplined us, and I think that is something, because if we were never disciplined by him, I would be wayward. I would be off. So he did it with love. I felt it was a bit hard then, but as I look back today, I can say, thank God he did what he had to do, because who knows, I would not be here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. One piece of advice that you would give to fathers out there, and especially fathers of girls.
Others of
Yeah,
us.
raising two girls.
Yes.
What advice would you give fathers or fathers raising girls, or just fathers in general?
Right. I think for me, I approach it from, again, my biggest struggle, being present, because I have seen what that means for a child's esteem.
Yeah.
The first man in a girl's life is the father.
Yeah.
So before any other man begins to say you are beautiful, you're pretty, let them hear that from you.
Yeah.
So as a man raising girls, intentionally affirm your daughters, let them know you, let them feel secure in you, so that they do not find security in another man out there.
So true. So true. I mean, I can't remember the number of times my father told me that I was beautiful. And the way he said it was like he really believed it from his heart.
Yes.
And so I never ever, like, even if I found a guy who told me that I was beautiful, like, I had already had it.
Yeah.
I didn't need someone to remind me.
Yes.
I knew it because the person who I trusted and who I loved had told me I was beautiful and said it like he really meant it.
Yes.
So that was enough.
Yes.
And I think for me that was really helpful growing up, that I never really needed a man to affirm me or to find my identity in anything. Like, I was firm in who I was.
Yeah.
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 Great, thank you. Wonderful learning points here. Yeah, I hope this helps you in one way or another. Share it with somebody that you think might need it. In the next video, Diana will be talking about how a wife can support her husband in being an effective father. Great, so look out for that. I'll be sharing it right on this channel. Thank you. In case you've not done so, subscribe to this channel. We regularly share content that is designed and intended to help you to become a better version of yourself. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Thank you and God bless you.
Amen.